Um, One thing I noticed about my life is, in spite of having one of the weirdest childhoods I've ever encountered, um, we had parents that pushed imagination and the freedom in art. My mom used to buy me sketchbooks. My dad did too. My aunts did. Everybody did. My sister started drawing too. She was very good. She didn't stick with it, and neither did I. But we used to always have imagination. They used to always feed the imagination. They always told us to feed the imagination. They used to let us do whatever. You know what I'm saying? They were black about a lot of things, but one thing they didn't play about, you could pretend, you could have imagination, you could have a state of play. And that was very important. And I can't express how much being allowed to have a state of play really shaped me in a good way. It made me tough, it made me resilient. It made me be able to believe. I was able to imagine all possibilities as real, no matter how fantastical. I was allowed to daydream on end. I was allowed to go and create and tell whatever fantastical stories and really live in that moment and share it. And that's what helped me capture people's ear. That's what helped me conversationally. That's what helped me confidence-wise. That's what's helped me sexually, being seductive. That's what helped me career-wise, with being able to speak my mind and defend myself. Like, being able to imagine a possibility of this working out is always the focus, is always the driving force for whatever I do. I know I could do it because I saw it. There was never a time I didn't see it. You know, I was always able to, I can tell a whole story. What if I went to be an electrician and I can see it? I can see the steps. I can see going to school. I can see all of that. Like, I can see stuff like that. And I did not know other people couldn't. I'm just realizing other people can't. And maybe that's by design. Maybe that's by intention. Maybe that's media stole it from us. I don't know. But one thing I will say is, animation, no matter how you try to monetize it, animation spurs imagination. And imagination is the doorway to the collective unconscious. There's not much difference between dreaming and delirium. Neil Gaiman be damned. But we can shape the whole world around us. You can if you feel your words and feel how they sound, acknowledge what you're saying, you can shape the world around you. It is spellcasting, but the part of spellcasting, a part of magic, a part of what everything seems to be leaning towards is, oh yeah, you need to visualize. All the video essays, all the things about money and crypto, everyone's saying to visualize. It's funny now because it was downplayed to be serious in the early 2000s. Everyone needs to be serious, blah, blah, blah. So somewhere along the line, someone discovered that imagination keeps the universe together. They just didn't tell everybody. So now everything's a drive to the imagination. We're backing away from porn, which is destimulating people in sex and killing passion and all that kind of stuff. But we are up in imagination. We are up in cinema. We are up in art. We are up in drawing on the internet. We are up in computers being digital art books, all that kind of stuff. We're up in manga. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Maybe people are openly watching cartoons it did more than any era. And everybody's just pretending like they don't see the through line. Because y'all screwed the pooch. Somebody pushed too hard to try to have complete and total order of the great structure. And they didn't know what they was getting themselves into. And here we are. Here we are. Now you got to try to get people to broaden their imaginations, everything, every concept, every possibility. You got to get people back dreaming again. You got to get people back into interacting. You got to get people back into clothing. You got to make their own clothing. People, yeah, all this bullshit y'all fed us. Now you want us to touch the fabrics, bring it to life. Imagine, stitch, embroider, yarn, lace, jewelry, artisan, smithing. Like, oh yeah, y'all want all this textiles and tactile stimulation going on. Y'all fucked it up. And I guess that's the eerie thing about it, because you watch it as an observer, and at my level, due to my education, I can only explain what I can see at my purview. Maybe if I would have pushed myself a little harder, I could explain things better. Maybe I could really just convey some of the things I see. I even admit that I can see things that I can't properly convey. My brain is fried. What I mean to say when I say my brain is fried, I have been in months of constant dehydration. I have been months of constant stress, sleeplessness, insomnia, blah, blah, blah. Even thinking and going down these rabbit holes. And then one day, you see that one thing that ties everything together. No matter how far you look into one particular truth, it will lead you to another, which will lead you to another, and you find out that all truths are true. And if all truths are true, what are you supposed to do? And when you look on the other side of what are you supposed to do if all truths are true, it'll make a man out of you. It's terrifying when you look past the horizon and you really just, like, you really feel like you snap. You feel like you completely step aside. Everything comes, you're completely detached. And the world feels like a stage. And you feel like you're on a play. And a lot of people can't handle that moment, but that is the moment. That is the moment. That moment, that nexus point, that door upon doors on the stage, when you are getting that light shining on you, everything feels fake and it feels like you're in a doll world. You better make it clear how you feel and speak from your heart and surrender, because that is your moment that you are talking directly to it. That is when you're firing on all cylinders. That's when you're talking directly to it. You're talking directly to the universe, directly to him. Not anything posing like him. Not anything pretending to be like him. I'm talking about the concept beyond everything you think. Truly him. The shapeless, endless one. God. The energy of all the universe. I'm not talking about these anthropomorphic farces that people want to believe in. I'm talking about the divine line between all of us. It. The rainbow flicker in the sky. For those who have seen. You know, we're all connected. It is all us, and we are all of it. We're all connected. with the power to bring millions of worlds, millions of realities into play. And we waste it trying to gain order in chaos. We waste it. We waste our own potential. We waste our own time. We waste so much of imagination and being in a constant state of play to bring someone else's. The mundane is the dream of someone who's in control. We're all forced to live someone's dream. You know, that makes me think about Adventure Time. It's like you can see, when I say there's always a way to see a thing before you know what it is. And like Prismo is like this powerful cosmic being. He's a wish master. Prismo is this multi-dimensional polygon pink shadow thing that's on like the corners of the universe and can do all things and within his set of universes. But he has a true form that is a person sleeping. He creates all universes off of his dreams. It's like, who thought that? How did you think that? When did I thought that, and when I saw that, you made me feel seen. You know, it's like, how? And this is as a kid, like experiencing Gnosticism before you know what it is. Like as kids, we're looking at Care Bear culture and Rainbow Bright and My Little Ponies and these elemental guardians, these architects of the spiritual, colorful world, these angels, these guardians. And then we watch them protect and constantly monitor and adjust the world under them. They have to organize the world in such a way to keep everyone flowing in good faith, you know, to celebrate the grand structure. The demiurge. We've been getting it. We've been getting doses of it all of our lives. Everything has a through line, and it's just like, well, what do you do? You have to become an active participant. That's what you do. You never had the choice to not make a choice. And the thing of it is, trying to explain why you don't need to make a choice to avoid suffering is why you got to go through this bitch again. Why a lot of us, that's why so many people being born and stuff like that, and that's why a lot of people are trying to get themselves out of it. You know, when someone told me the first time, what is it, a restitution or something like that, a person that said they would rather eliminate themselves from this cycle of death and rebirth, I had already seen something like that in a comic book and did not know what it was. And it's just like, is art imitating life or is life imitating art? But then when you look into the basis of the comic book, you find the myth. And then you're just like, oh shit. Wait, where is this coming from? Because it's just like, I've experienced this, and then I see a thing that made me think about, like, wait, this is the thought I had at like 15 years old. But you know, they say we're spiritually connected, and that, you know, that's the beginning of the hero's journey, you know. puberty, going, whatever. I can talk about everything all the time. But we sacrifice imagination to try to live as adults and justify being adults, when we could have just been responsible children. And someone made a video about that. That's what kind of spurred that. He was like, well, the millennials are the responsible kids. We want to be at a constant state of play. That's the spur of creativity. That's the bridge. You don't have to suffer. The great awakening is spurred through sublimation. When you take the passions of what's going on, when you take the ire, the rage, the fury, and you bring it to life through story, through drama, through art, through music, through paint. And the internet has given a lot of us a door, because we want to monetize whatever talent we got. Inadvertently, you spurred us to sublimate. And now that we're sublimating, everyone is vibrating a little higher. We're awakening each other. There's no way to stop it at this point, because we gather our own audiences now. There's social media. And everyone's peeking over everyone else's shoulder. Because nobody wants to be boring. Everybody wants to have the name of life. The spark was never avoidable. It was never avoidable. But what will we do now that we are now? How will we do this? Because we don't live long enough to learn the lesson. What will become of this new era, this spark, or will we fizzle? A lot of people can be motivated to change and get the epiphany, and then they can waste it. What will we do? I know I want to create art. I got stories I want to tell. I got fanciful stories. Beautiful man. I want to echo. I want a narcissist. Like, what I mean to say is, I want to tell a story about the beautiful male virgin. The God-like male virgin. For those who know and for those who don't. I want to tell a story like that. The beautiful male virgin. The beautiful male. I want to tell a magical story. A magical man story. I want to do my own version of it. Fall in line. Especially when you see the through lines between Thoth. And shout out to that guy that was talking about Loki and Jesus. And shout out to that guy that was also talking about Dionysus. Shout out to Red from Sarcastic Productions and her deep dive video on Dionysus. Shout out to those through lines where you see stuff like that, Thoth and Loki and Balder and Krishna and Prometheus, the beautiful virgin male across storylines, Tsukiyomi, Well, no, I don't think Tsukiyomi was a virgin, but he was a beautiful male. One of the few male moon gods. A pinnacle of male beauty. And their disciples. They're ugly male worshippers. Their cult-like followings. The beautiful, charismatic male. Hercules. He wasn't a virgin, though. the boyish version of looking the beginning of the hero's journey. It's all allegory. It's all allegory. It's all allegory. Be fruitful and multiply is about giving birth to ideas. Endless ideas. It's not about just dropping another bastard at your dick. But people are so reductive and lazy. They really feel like that's their contribution. When you got a place that sucks, most motherfuckers don't make it not suck. And most people don't have enough resources, education, skill, economic growth, potential. We don't really have enough catalyst to make someone of any real substance. So increasingly more motherfuckers ain't made shit better. Like, let's be real. Like, everybody think they have a legacy, but bitches don't even have land to leave nobody. Like let's get over that. That's not real. So let's really get into things that live and exist. Ideas. Ideas can be given across the universe. They can be a part of the zeitgeist, bring them to life. You're supposed to be able to always give birth to the new idea, shape the reality, add your mark to it. That's what you're supposed to do. Because people die and are often forgotten, but the idea lives outside of the person. That's the real part of be fruitful and multiply. But people don't get it. All of us have the possibility to spark a new idea. And too many of us have decided that we will just trust in the ideas that someone else has told us. We don't want to create new ideas. We're too embarrassed to create new ideas. You know, there is no bad idea. Create your idea, because someone's going to take your stupid idea and they're going to add to it, and then they're going to perfect it, and then they're going to make something out of it. Try it. You know, give birth to your ideas. Seeing over the line made me realize that no matter how much control, no matter what I did, I will never know 1% of it. When I had my moment, when I was so frustrated and I was reading online, and I had said that I was having moments where I felt like I was talking to God, but it felt like me, just really intense and bitter. But it was really like truth. And it was like, But then there was a moment where I really did talk to God, where the night before I had a dream, and I was like this turquoise fire, and I was in front of like this pale white room. It was glowing white, and this eye with billions of eyes in it was staring at me, and it was just wiggling, and all of them were looking at me, and I'm just burning, and I'm like burning out slower and slower and slower. And then I said, I want to exist. And then although that one giant eye that was filled with billions of eyes all just became one solid cat-like eye, and it looked at me. And then it turned into like that octopus shape, and it looked at me. And then it turned the same color that I did. and I was burning brighter. And then I woke up and I panicked, and I was so mad. I was like hyperventilating, and I got it. I sat on the edge of the bed, and I was like, man, I'm gonna go Google or whatever. But anyway, I got to grounding. I was already fed up with some shit, not having a job, worried about another job. I went outside. It had just got through raining. It was like kind of dampish, drizzling, like the leaves were dropping, and the water was cool. I mean, the ground was cool and it was wet. And I was thinking about mud, and I kind of was sliding into it. It was so awkward, but you could smell the dirt. It smelled, different. And I just stood outside, and the clouds were opening up, and I was just pouring myself out. I was like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I so fed up? Why am I so frustrated all the time? Why is everything I think about so? I was just like, why? And then, like, it got eerily quiet, and I felt exposed, and the moon was just glowing so bright, and it was quiet, and the world felt so fake. And I said, I surrender. I don't know. I will never know. I surrender. I apologize. I shouldn't try to control everything. I shouldn't try to go around. I shouldn't try to overstep, like people often do. I need to be grateful. I need to appreciate the complexity of the grand structure, because no matter science, no matter religion, we will never know more. We will never know. It's impossible. We will never know. We can't get there. Science will never explain 1%. We will never get there. So don't obsess over it. Don't obsess over what you don't know. And when you stop obsessing over what you don't know, or trying to control what you do know, or bragging, like collecting endless facts just to have something to talk about, that shit means nothing, because you don't know. You have to marvel in the vastness of the great structure. It is a system in place. You have to marvel in the face of the great structure. That's it. That's all. And trust in it. It will feed you. It will water you. It will clothe you. It was designed to do those things. And you have interface with it. You can make those things happen too. Just put forth your best effort. Don't infringe on anyone. Try to do others no harm. And watch what you say. Don't throw negative energy. Energy can be thrown on other people. Don't curse other people. Just be mindful. Don't always be abrasive. And just because you love someone doesn't mean you have to unload on them. There's an order to that. There is rules of engagement to that. No one's your punching bag because you didn't have a mother. No one owes you that fantasy in your head. If you actually engage with life, you can create things that happen that will pale in comparison. Those breathy, warm, whimsical scenes. You saw someone at that place today. That shit can happen. It can, but you have to be open. You have to be open to all possibilities. There's no avoiding it. There's no avoiding it. The only thing I'm really resentful as I've learned this at 39 years old is black people, we did ourselves such a great injustice when we were coming up in the 90s. We were told to abandon so many of the old things that our grandparents and aunties and uncles were telling us. Well, turpentine can kill bacteria, and Lysol can do this, vinegar can do that, this sage, this root, this mint, this herb, this spice, use this, cook this, dry this, wear this, open this, garlic this, water this, oil that. We let them push us into believing in that medicine bullshit. We abandoned it, and then when they found out that medicine shit made everything fucking worse, they took the things they told us were gross and niggery and rebranded as health and wellness back to us. Black people do not have enough faith to believe in themselves. Black Americans do not have enough faith to believe. We will jump at the opportunity to sacrifice being associated with being black if we think it'll give us a pat on the back. And it costs us. Also, I am of the opinion that black people, we don't eat towards our African genetics. And those people ate fruit and beans and grain. They're Nordic style people. They're Scandinavian people. They needed more fat. They needed meat to sustain them through the winters. We didn't live in those areas. We don't process it like that. That's why we have so many issues like high blood pressure and kidney. We can't eat what they eat. And because we want to live like they live and we buy into their images, we can't eat what they eat. And that's a hard lesson to unlearn, because black people, we will give up things. Like, there was a video of something like, well, white people cook good, and it's like barbecue. Yes, that's true. I'm from Alabama. They have whole competitions down there, whole big grills and stuff like that. That wasn't always like that. That was the first thing gentrified, because it was manly. Black men, black uncles from the 70s and 80s used to cut them barrel drums and barbecue and really have cook-offs and shit like that at these old shot houses and stuff. Niggas used to get together and barbecue and shit. That was the first thing. Co-op, that was the first thing taken. That's why I see it's so out of reference. But I grew up with black men that did that in the South. Every nigga had a grill going. That shit, that rebranding happened. It happened real smooth in 2000s through Bravo TV. That's when they started having Grill Master and Kingsford and all those competitions and shit like that. That's when they started those Bayou Boys and all that bullshit started coming up. So that's the reason why. Just like they told us we were obsessed with shoes, but boom, black folks can't even afford shoe culture now. They told us we were obsessed with barbershops and haircuts. Boom. We were so busy to abandon everything we loved, and they took it and made all those things markets. Those were the first things out the door. They break their necks to go live in our houses. They move us out the neighborhoods, and then they move into the house that our grandmamas had fights in, and how we supposedly sold drugs and all that shit in, raped, and nobody had literacy. And you just want the culture. You just get your dick hard to just, oh yeah, this old architecture. Oh yeah, I can really feel it in here. I can feel the presence. There's something to that. There's something to that. Y'all can sit and pretend like I don't see it. I see it. Y'all see it. There's something to that. There's something to that. There's something to that. You can sit here and think it's normal to just watch them imitate us and then beat us down. Even when they convince us to do something else, you can sit there and watch it. But there's something to that. And that's possibly why I feel like we pay some kind of price for them. But we believe in their God. I believe that they are using us to pay some kind of debt to we're paying their toll to believe in their God. It's something weird with it. It's some kind of weird cycle to it. It's like rap used to be the most horrible thing, baby. Black people play Afro beats at the club. White people playing for the 99 and 2000. I'm talking about, it's a complete rebrand. White gym culture is black boy culture. The sweatpants, the socks, the headsets. It's like, no, everybody sees this shit. It's absolute madness. It's absolute madness. But they say that, but they don't want us to invest in imagination. Well, why not? Everything's merging and blending in a damn way. Maybe the singularity is here. Maybe. I don't know enough about anything to know it well enough. Hell, once you realize it all runs together, you don't even worry about separating ideas anymore. And that's what's terrifying. You don't even worry about trying to keep one in one lane and hearing it, because they all converge. If sooner or later they all converge. It seems like madness, but it's just like, as long as you don't fuck with it, it won't fuck with you. As long as you do what you can and put forth your best effort, as long as you put forth your best effort, you will be rewarded. As long as you're open to the experience, you'll be rewarded. Don't have any pretense. Don't fall into fear. Walk forward even when it hurts. You'll be rewarded. But I'll say this for those who do believe in whatever organized religion. One thing I have learned. There's not much difference for what you believe in jinn. Please learn and look and read the terms of agreement. Your religious doctrine, just in my opinion, is the terms of agreement and access to their paradise they present. They just want your faith. It's asking you to believe in it, and it rewards you in real estate that seems like paradise. Here's the catch. It is not their fault that when they gave you the terms of agreement through their doctrine and dogma, that men along the way have changed it. You are still required to follow the terms of agreement if you're claiming what you're claiming. So claiming it without knowing what you're investing in, you still have to pay the price. And I don't think people really understand that Bible is a contract between you and Yaldabaoth. That contract is between you and the Lightbringer. You make sure you read the terms of agreement, because y'all are playing with things y'all really don't understand. From beings you really don't know who you're worshiping. Y'all really don't know. Y'all ain't reading enough. We can all make it to a level to be with oneness. But the problem with convenience, everybody's looking for the easy way out. And these beings are offering you the easy way out. Sign up for their belief, and they'll give you a nice little plot of infinity. They just need your belief. Feed them your belief. Or you can take the real hero's journey. And you can march that across the universes through your own effort. You're supposed to burn away at your own flesh and move across. You're supposed to endure. Suffering is the point. Be like Buddha. Be like Sun Wukong. Be like those. Just look at all the stories of those who took Gilgamesh. Hercules. You know, endure. Go past. Go beyond. Orion. At least shoot for the stars. Everybody may not make it to godhood, but at least transcend. Suffering is a part of it. And the funny part of it is, some of the ones that are offering you these sweet deals, they watch you. Some of them will root for you. They root for you. Some of them place bets to see if you'll make it as far as you can. As long as you don't interfere with their believers, they don't care. Some of them are just happy that you remember their names. You'll be surprised how many of them exist, how many of them are looking. You'll be surprised. So, believing in yourself is what takes you to the next level. Or you can believe in one of them. And when you find out what you really believe in, and how you really just there's no other way to put it than you financed and put a 30-year mortgage on a Motel 6 hotel room instead of building your own house brick by brick. When all the bricks were free. So, you know, whatever. Nobody's listening to me anyway.